You were in Colombia?
I was in Colombia. Yeah.
Well, man, what do you do in Colombia?
Bro, I'm just down there for the better part of half of the year, mostly because I don't like the snow. I mean, that's really it.
You work like remote over there, or what do you do?
Yeah, I just run the team from Colombia. Nothing really changes.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any VAs or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
How many VAs you got?
We've got 3 right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because recently, Francisco, a while back, he told me about a VA. He's like, bro, you should get a VA. And I kind of just brushed it off, bro. I didn't think much of it. And then recently, I got a VA. Been a fucking game changer, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. So what has been how long have you had a VA?
Like a week.
A week. Okay.
A week and a half, yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're fresh into it. Like, I've been using virtual assistants for a while, for years. I mean, for a better part of 10 years. I mean, I've been experimenting around with them for a long time.
Oh, really? I didn't.
Oh, yeah. Like,
they've been around that long?
It was. I mean, I made a virtual assistant hire before I even made $1.
Really?
When I was like, didn't know anything, right? Like when I was flailing around trying to figure it out. Oh yeah, I had them like doing cold emails, like just all the things, right?
Yeah.
But you definitely have to know how to use them, right? They're not a replacement for an acquisition specialist the majority of the time.
Right.
Like I've got one right now that I think could be, but I just brought him on. He's a follow-up specialist. He's from Nicaragua.
Oh, really?
So, but I gotta speak Spanish speaking,
Yeah,
you're on the acquisition side now. He's got a lot of experience. But what I found is, when you move over to this side of the time zone, right? Like whether it be South America or Central America, like typically you can get kind of a better quote unquote quality.
How did you end up stumbling upon the virtual assistant when it first started?
When it first started, it was just, I think, Upwork.
Oh, really?
I was listening to Tim Ferriss' podcast. That's where it started. That's where I got the idea.
Gotcha.
He's like, yeah, virtual assistants, hire them cheap. I think it was $2 an hour at the time. That was like almost 10 years ago. It was just like, well, I've got $2. I've got $2. I figure out where to get $2 an hour. So yeah, that was where I hired that. And I think the first one was somewhere in Asia. He was on a different time zone, Philippines or something like that. But now, like, we've got 2 in the Philippines, and then we've got 1 in Nicaragua right now. So that's the virtual assistant cascade right now.
What would you recommend for like advice, I guess, for like when you're first training someone up or something, or like, because it's like, this is my first hire basically, so it's kind of, I'm new, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
what would you tell me?
What is my advice to you on specifically to do what?
Like, I guess just it's my first time hiring someone, so it's like any advice on like setting the frame, or
yeah,
because like this person, like I have to train them up, and like I guess I'm not used to fucking telling someone what the fuck to do and shit, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay, you're not used to delegating.
Yeah.
Well, this is good because there's a skill set that you need to master.
Yeah, right. That's what I was telling him.
Delegation is like the most.
It's a game changer.
It's a powerful.
So that's what I was telling him originally. I said, you're trying to do everything yourself, but you need to focus on what you're good at, right? Like you're good at the sales, right? That's what you're doing for your business, right? So it doesn't make any sense for you to be the one making the first introduction call, right? Until they have a warm to hot lead that you can just get on the phone and close, right? So being able to delegate, to his point, I mean, that's going to make your business grow, because if you start doing everything, you got to kill yourself, bro.
Yeah. When I think back to your original question, that's the right question, right? Because what I have found is you can build a glass house and it crumble. You can have a bunch of virtual assistants and think that you're delegating, but and this is where people, I think, overlook it. This is my opinion. They overlook onboarding. Do you have an onboarding process? When this person comes in day one, how quickly are they, like, how many days does it take them to get trained on the base knowledge? At what point do they start initiating tasks? How many chunks of those tasks are we giving them at a time, right? And then how long does it take them to get full capacity? You should, like, and I know that like, if you haven't thought about that can be overwhelming. And it's a very remedial, like, boring topic. But it's so important because I can hire somebody, give them a bunch of tasks and say, go do it, but they could not do it good, or they could not know what to do, or they could be pinging me back with the same stuff. And now I'm just creating a redundancy, right? So that's just my opinion. But, I think to really answer your question, my question would be, well, what is this person? What is their job title? What are the tasks that we're responsible for?
Well, I think that's good, and also I think it brings up like SOPs.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so new to hiring someone, so like I don't really have like SOPs in place.
Yeah.
And so just kind of
in the first
qualify someone, I guess. Or
in the first one, you just kind of figure it out. I mean, that's why I did it. I didn't start with SOPs and onboarding. Like I didn't do that's not the way. It was just like, I just need you to send out a bunch of email, like, right. And so like my executive assistant, she started as just my social media manager. That's all she did. All she did was what we're doing right now. She just cut video all day long. You know what I mean? And then what I realized was her temperament and her personality was perfect for a lot of other tasks. So now she's my executive assistant, which she was more or less my executive assistant. She was the only assistant that I had.
Right. Yeah.
But now she does everything from managing financials to like tracking our P&L to communicating with my CPA. She's communicating with a title company. She's scheduling all of my appointments, whether that be a chiropractor appointment or an oil change or a flight. You know what I mean? Like, so she has all of my contacts in Colombia. When I touched down in Colombia the week before, I'm like, hey, line up these chiropractor appointments. Give me over here a hyperbaric chamber. Ba, 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 ba. She already has those contacts. So, like, she does all of that. And she has the capacity to do it. She has a perfect personality. She's super positive. She's a great culture fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's respected by everybody else, and she can train as well now. So it didn't start out like that.
Slowly?
Yeah, just slowly. And I will give this one last thing. I'm kind of talking a lot, but, I think that when it comes to virtual assistants, I'm a very big advocate of just give them one task per week. One new task per week. Because if you overwhelm them, you're not going to be able to audit it because you're too busy running your business, right? Give them, and it sounds like not very much, but for you have the bandwidth to digest that and audit it and make sure it's done right. And then, over the course of 6 weeks, if they can perfect 6 tasks, right, that you don't even have to think about, you're good. That's enough ROI on what you're paying.
That was another question I had, because there's other stuff that I want her to do.
Yeah.
But I don't want to put too much on her. Like, I don't know if it's better to have like multiple VAs for different things, and like, because sometimes what if they're doing too many different things where it's like one important thing gets watered down or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that you have to be cognizant of you're not managing departments. So like, if she's in a sales role and you're hybriding her with administrative tasks, that's a creative brain switch, right? It's a task switch for her. So she's going to be less efficient when she's going from, like, let's say you have her cutting social media and she's scheduling appointments and communicating with contractors and she's making sales calls. I'm not a big fan of that.
Oh, okay.
I like, if you're a sales acquisition or if you're in acquisitions, right, that's where I want you.
Right.
I don't want you hybriding over here to like communicating with contractors about bid
Or title company.
or whatever the case may be. I'm not saying they can't touch it, but the more that you spread her, it's a girl.
Yeah.
The more that you spread her out, the more that you're going to find, number one, it's going to be difficult, but you're also going to find that there's just things that she doesn't like.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of my check-ins, I don't know about you, but I check in quarterly and I'm like, hey, do you love what you're doing? Like, are you happy? I just want to know, number one, are you happy? And they're like, is this a trick question? I'm like, no, I want you to be honest. Like, I want to know you're enjoying your job. Like, I don't really like this task. Okay. Do I have somebody else in the organization that can better position that for their personality?
Sure.
And then I'll maybe slide it over here,
Definitely quarterly meetings with your VAs, just kind of.
I have quarterly check-ins with all of my team, and it's just, I have one-on-ones weekly with them. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm always checking in with them, but quarterly, I'm going to do a review. Like, if, number one, are we productive? Are we hitting our KPIs? But also, I just want to check in. Like, how are you feeling, like, about the job? Like, are you overwhelmed with life? Is there something that's bothering me? Because, like, on the acquisition side, sales performance is not always tied to just, like, we're human beings, you know, like, so they could be going through something. Maybe they just had like their heart broken or something, and it's going to affect their performance most of the time. You know what I mean? So it's just like a check-in, just like, hey, like, we don't have to go into details. I want to make sure that I'm not missing something here.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
and you're like, somebody just passed away. Okay,
It makes
cool.
sense. Yeah.
All right, let me know what you need. A lot of times that's all you need to do, and then they'll come back around, and then they'll stabilize. Doesn't mean I have to fire them and replace them just yet.
Right.
Which I'm known for firing really quickly, but like I'm also, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things that actually talking about hiring quickly is, sometimes you do have to fire faster sometimes than you should. Because I've had plenty of people that have just wasted time. They're nice people, they're good people,
Sure.
but they just don't fit, right? And sometimes your human nature just feels bad about letting somebody go, but if they're not performing, and you already tried everything you can to teach them how to do their job,
Mm-hmm.
and they're still not performing, you have to make the hard call, just letting that person go. The faster you do it, the faster you can find somebody else and train them. Because you're just throwing money after bad money, just keeping this person on the payroll,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's another thing that you have to also think about is like, have I spent enough time training this person, and is this person truly doing the job that they should be doing it? Are they executing, right? And if you're looking at it, it's like it's been 6 months, and they're still asking me questions that they were asking the first couple of weeks on the job. Something's wrong,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I've had that happen, and I've let things go a little too long sometimes, to where I'm like,
Yeah.
well, man, maybe it's just to your point. Maybe they're going through something, but after a while, it's like it's just not working out, and we just have to make that decision and say, you know what, you're a nice person. I wish you the best, but you're just not a good fit
Mm-hmm.
here. Anyway, you might be a good fit somewhere else, but it's just not working here.
So I'll ask you, how do you make that firing process easy on yourself?
To a certain extent, I've stopped being emotional about the business, right? Because one of my mentors says, business is business, man. Like you can't get emotional, but it's just on the acquisition side, right? Whenever you're talking to a potential seller, and a seller starts like cussing you out or hangs up on you or whatever,
Yeah.
at the beginning you get emotional about it. It's like, oh, what the hell, man? Why is he hanging up on me, right? Like,
Sure.
but after you put in enough reps, it's like, yeah, whatever. Let's go to the next one.
Part of the process.
Right, part of the process.
Yeah.
So just not being so emotional about it is like, look, if there's a certain number of sales when you got to make, and these people are not performing, forget being emotional about it. We've got to hit it. And if we're not hitting it, we got to find the gear that's not working properly so I can go find another gear and put it into the machine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's also a good lesson to learn, is learning how to let go of people faster when you know they're not performing, right? But, obviously, if you're trying to teach them 1,000 things the first week on the job, it's going to take them a while to learn 1,000 things, right? So you can't expect that person to master everything like the first couple of months if you're truly teaching them a whole lot of things right out of the gate. So the point you made about teaching them like one thing at a time makes a lot of sense, because just kind of put yourself in their position. Okay, maybe they've never worked with in a position kind of like what you have for your VA, right? They don't know the business, you do. They're learning everything.
Yeah.
So something that might make sense to you because you're doing it all day long, to them is like Chinese, right? And sometimes that's like, I know with me that's my problem. Sometimes it's like it's like ABC stuff. But I got to put myself out of it and say, okay, well, these people don't know real estate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're brand new, they have no idea. So that's also it's a balancing act on how to manage it all. And the more you do it, just like anything else, the better you're gonna get at it, right? How to train somebody for that specific position. After a while, you're gonna learn, okay, for this specific position, I need somebody with this type of personality. For instance, my the bookkeeper that we have at Parachuting Penguins, her personality, bro, if she wants to send me a text, every time I read her text messages, I'm almost pissed off about it, because her personality is like, she just says stuff like blunt, right? but she's great at her job. And what I've noticed is like people that are like really, really good at accounting and numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, this lady will go nuts trying to balance, a credit card statement because it's like 5 cents off. It's like, here's 5 cents, bro. Let's move on. But that's not her personality, right? Like she's got to figure out where that money went, which is what you want.
That's what
But-
her job is.
yeah,
That's her objective, right? It's her mission.
Yeah, but on the flip side, like I will never put this lady on the phone to talk to somebody because she's just not. She doesn't have the personality. You know what I mean? So that to his point is like, okay, well, if I have reviews and I'm seeing that this person is working better or might work better in this other position, let's try them out here. Maybe they work better over here because of their personality, right? Like there's people that just have the gift of gab, man. Like they can talk. That's a perfect salesperson, right? Because they'll be able to be on the phone with somebody, right? And so you just have to pay attention to those things because you might have hired them for this, but maybe they're a better fit for something else over here. You know what I mean?
Damn, it's like a scary. It was hard, bro. It was tough, honestly, bro. Like it's kind of scary, giving up that control of like, cause I got this girl estimating for me, so she's giving me like the total price. So if the price is off, dude, like we could lose thousands, you know?
Sure.
Right.
And so it was tough, fucking just letting go of that. It's scary as shit too, you know. But how much of you guys' business, like, what percentage have you guys delegated? Both of you guys.
I'm trying to chop it into quarters to try to give you a percentage. Do you know the percentage off of your housing?
I would say on my end, I probably delegate at least 80% of it.
Mm.
Right.
What's the other 20 that you do?
The other 20, unfortunately, at the moment, the other 20 that I do right now, because I don't have an acquisitions person, a solid acquisitions person, then that falls on me, right? Because that one portion of it has to be done right, because we're spending money on marketing, and those leads are worth gold when you reach out to them, right? So right now I'm taking that on because I don't have anybody actively making those calls.
The acquisitions is the gap in yours?
Right now, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Which is the biggest gap?
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, for our business.
It's the hardest one to fill, maybe. Maybe that's a better way to put it.
It is because, and I would say not for just our business, I would say any business, because essentially it's a sales position, right? One of my mentors, he says, like, look, if I had to fire someone, I would fire a bookkeeper over my salespeople. Why? Because sales fixes everything.
Yeah.
As long as you're making sales, then, you can go out and hire more people. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't think it's just real estate. I think it's any businesses, the acquisitions or sales personnel. If you've got solid salespeople, man, that just changes the game, because you can say, okay, now I've got 4 salespeople and I want to take the company to make X amount of dollars next year. Either A, are these people capable of making more sales? If not, then I just need to go hire more salespeople, right? But the sales factor of a company is that, to me, is the biggest void to fill for any business.
Yeah. I've learned to kind of look at, to answer your original question, I'm probably 75 to 85%. I'm being conservative on myself. It may be higher, but acquisitions is leveraged out. Dispositions is fully leveraged out. The listing administrative stuff is completely leveraged out. Accounting's leveraged out. I think at this point, the only thing that's not leveraged out is underwriting is partially leveraged out in my business. Like we've got to a point where literally offers are going out without me even reviewing them to a degree, right? But when it comes to acquisitions that flows through the acquisitions department, I'm still underwriting all of that. So for me, my responsibilities are a couple of different things, 2 or 3 different things. Number 1, underwriting. Number 2, auditing sales calls and making sure that acquisitions is properly trained. And then number 3, I would say, I'm the CEO, so, I'm in charge of all departments. So the thing that is not leveraged out is a COO and a CEO, right?
Yeah.
But I could get like we could use a sales manager and a COO, and then I would be fully leveraged out. I could probably drill it down to like a 2 to 4 hour week at that point. We're not there yet. But, to talk about acquisitions, what I've learned about acquisitions is I've just learned to look at it as like this thing that I'm always top grading, right? Especially just as of recently, because you and I have been having conversations about this, right? It's hard to find really good people until it's not, right? And then you got them and you forget about them. Well, I'm just never forgetting about it. Always interviewing.
Right.
I'm always looking now. I'm just like, no, just keep the post live. Just keep them coming in. I'm looking for that next person. And so I'm constantly top grading that. And then, when one new acquisitions or salesperson typically will get the attention of the rest of the salespeople, either push them or they'll get their attention, right? You get a new hot one that comes in. Maybe they don't stick around, right? But maybe they go on a hot streak, right? Well, it kind of pulls the rest of the sales force up a little bit. Yeah. And so that's kind of the way that I've been looking at acquisitions here as of late.
Which that makes sense, because just human nature, right? Like, we all hit the gym, right? And whenever there's someone that's pushing you in the gym, you tend to push harder, right?
Just because your ego gets involved, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense that whenever you bring a new acquisition or salesperson in, that they're hungry, they're rocking and rolling, they want to get deals under contract, right?
Yeah.
Then everybody's like, holy smokes, what's going on with this guy? Like, I better make my calls, a little better so that I can make sure that the new guy is not going to outwork me.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that makes sense to me. That not happen. No, I think that in any business, whether you're just starting or you've been doing it for a while, learning how to delegate certain things the way you've been able to do it, right? To delegate it to people that are either have the experience or have been well trained to do the accounting, right? The underwriting in real estate. In real estate underwriting, it's a huge time taker because you're looking at all the numbers. You're trying to figure out, is this property going to make sense? What kind of offer can we submit? How much is it going to take to rehab a property? So it takes a lot of time, right? But if you can find someone that knows how to do that and do it well, or any position, man, that just buys your time back, right? And that's essentially where you want to get to. Is you want to buy your time back as much as possible. Like I'll give a very simple example, and I did this even before I started doing everything on the investing side of real estate. One day I was cutting my lawn, right? And it took me like an hour and some change to finish cutting my lawn. And I remember doing it, and I thought to myself, okay, I could spend an hour and a half to 2 hours doing this myself, or I can just pay somebody to do it and free myself 2 hours to go do whatever, be with my kid, make some sales calls, whatever, right? So after that day, and this was, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago, or whatever it was, like after that, I was like, okay, I'm not cutting the lawn again because it just doesn't make sense for me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not that I'm too good for that type of a job, right? It's just that I know what my time's worth now, right? So that's you have to think about that as well. It's like, okay, I don't do my oil changes for a reason. I don't do my own taxes for a reason, right? It just doesn't make sense. I'm better off paying someone that's got the expertise to do it.
Yeah.
Right? So then sometimes when you start a business, at the beginning, you want to do everything because you're quote unquote trying to save money. But are you really? Are you really saving money? If you're starting your day at, say, at 6, 7 a.m. and you end up your day at 8:30, 9 p.m., right? You're working yourself to death because you're quote unquote trying to save money by not hiring out people that can do certain things. You're doing that disservice to you and your business, because you should be able to free up your time to make the decisions you need to be making as a business owner. Like, okay, let me step back now that I have some time to look at things. Okay, this doesn't make sense. This makes sense. We should put more money into this, and you just completely get rid of this because you're just not making any sense. But you can only do that when you have fresh eyes and you can step back by not having to do every freaking thing in the business. Does that make sense?
I guess my question to you guys is like, what's stopping you guys from delegating 100% of everything?
Do you want to go first or me?
What?
I think for me, it's just about like the right fit.
Mm.
Like for me, I the first thing that I always hire on is culture fit. That's the first thing. So like values and culture is the most important thing.
And music type.
I can train the rest. What's that?
And music type.
Yeah, music type. That's important too. Yeah. But we have to be able to chop it up and like enjoy around being each other to some capacity, right? To some capacity. But I can gauge that really quickly by like, what are your values?
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so I'm looking for, but when it comes to, a part of it is production too. Like we have to have enough production in order to grow, you know? So it goes back to the acquisitions department. Acquisitions has to be stable, performing, consistent. And so, you know, sometimes we've taken 2 steps forward and we've taken a step back, you know? Sometimes I will bring the wrong person. It doesn't happen very often, but I brought the wrong person in that will actually perform. And then no, it's not a good culture fit. And then we're looking for the next person, right? Like our team is really culturally like really strong right now. And I protect that at all costs. But it's my job to get everybody developed to full capacity, right? Like what is everybody's bandwidth? How do I tap that out at about 80%? That way they're not losing their mind, but they're having a good time. And then, okay, what is that next piece to fill in the gap? No, I mean, for me, what's keeping me is just like, it's hard to replace my brain from an underwriting standpoint, and the same with him, right? Like him and I have so many tools on the investment side. It's not so cookie cutter that like we just buy houses at 70 cents on the dollar, less repairs. That's not the way that we do it every time. As a matter of fact, we do it with a retail with a different interest rate and different terms sometimes, right? So it's really hard to get somebody that's not tenured, and even if they are tenured, to understand like, hey, look, you're missing a complete exit strategy here that you didn't even think of, right? And I'm happy to be involved in that, by the way. Like I enjoy it, right? It doesn't really wear me out unless I've got 20 to look at a day. That's tough, right? Lose that creative brain, but that's just part of developing. Okay, I got somebody that's been in here. We can one thing at a time. Look at this deal. This is the way that I'm looking at it. Does that make sense? Okay, now you teach it back to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, we're trying to find a Micha.
In a way, but at the same time, people will be like, well, you can't replace yourself. Yeah, like I don't. Yes, I can, number one. But I don't expect my salespeople to be 100% of Micha. I'm very like, one of my fundamental thought processes, if I can get the team to operate about 80 to 85% of what I could do, that's completely fine. Then my job is to just bring in enough opportunities rather than me going in and closing every deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it goes back to buying your time back. Is it a better use of my time to be on every phone call? No, it is not. It's just simply not.
Right.
If there's a deal that you can't close and you send me out there, is there a higher likelihood that I'm going to close it anyways, even though you didn't? Yes, there is. Right. A very much higher chance, as a matter of fact, especially if I get in front of them. But is it a good use of my time to go on every single appointment? Absolutely not. We would be missing a bunch of other low-hanging fruit, right? It's the same thing on the financing side of managing capital, right? Yeah. Like, if you take every single deal, you're going to miss other deals that are better. How many times has that happened, right? Yeah. Where you bought a deal and you're like, it's a little tight, but we need one on the board, right? And then just 3 days later, right? Yeah. The one comes through and it's three times as much profit. And you're like, man, I've learned this lesson so many times. I knew it, and I didn't follow my intuition, and now what are you doing? You're asking everybody for cash, right? Like, hey, does anybody want to invest? You got some extra cash laying around? They're like, no, I just hired a VA. Can you help me with the VA? I don't have time, right? So
yeah, no, and that's a great point, buddy. If you take it outside of real estate, right? On like say your business, like learning when to say no is also a huge lesson to it. Right? So when I started as an agent, my first broker, she told me, and I remember like the first thing she told me was like, learn how to say no. That was the first thing she told me.
Yeah.
Okay. And I asked her to explain, like, what the hell does that mean, right? She said, learn to say no. If somebody calls you and says, hey, I wanna go see a house, and I'm sitting in front of the house right now, can you come show it to me? Say no, right? Why? Because number one, you have to do due diligence. Is that house under contract? Is it, is it, are they going to afford it? How much does it cost? Like, there's a bunch of things you need to do, right? So she said, early on, learn how to say no so that you can have your time used the way you need to use it, right? On actually making deals.
Yeah.
So on your business, right? If you're estimating jobs, I think you've told me before that, like, kind of what Micha said, like, you took on a job, you ended up losing money because you wanted just to take on the job.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes it sucks. Like, yeah, no, I can't do it. I thank you for the opportunity, but I just can't. Now, there's a couple of deals as of recent that it sucked because we had to pull out of the deal maybe a week before closing. But the more I thought of it, is like, I'd rather say no now than close on this deal. And then for the next 6-7 months, I'm bleeding money.
Yeah, the company suffers, right?
Right.
You're not profitable, or you're
Right.
tied up, right?
Yeah.
Sunk cost.
Yeah, exactly.
Or opportunity cost, rather, right?
Yeah. So learning how to say no to yourself, right? Because to your point, ego comes into play. Like, okay, I need to have X number of deals in the pipeline every month. That's great if they're all profitable, right? But if you've got half of them that are gonna make you lose money, you're better off not taking them at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just something that's helped me to kind of get better at that is like actually having like a sales process in place to where it's like, hey, like this is our process, and it's very black and white. It's like, yes, you want to go with this, or no,
We could do a whole podcast on that. That's my favorite topic.
Like having that in place alone is literally just like, it doesn't let you be like, oh, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, there's no maybes or trying to help them out, or there's no handling objections. At least in my sales process, it's, hey, yes or no. It's not maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no gray area.
Yeah. And then you have to be that way just to keep yourself from, making a bad call and losing money, right?
It's something recently too. I've been kind of trying to put myself into a mindset of like, I'm just a fucking worker, dude. Like I just work for superior, dude. Because sometimes like us having like that owner mindset is kind of like, we kind of have like a little bit of scarcity sometimes.
They can edit this shit out.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Cool. Now they're gonna show everything. Eh?
Yeah. All right, because I'm popping this in. Yeah, go shit up. So you mean reframing it as you are just you're working for superior. I'm not the owner, but I am just a worker for superior.
No, like for me, for myself and my mindset, kind of switching it in my mind. Like I just work for this company. Like that way I don't have like that ownership. Like, oh, I have to get this job for us to fucking.
Sure. Right.
Yeah. Keep going,
I mean, at the end, whatever you have to do to remove that emotion that I was talking about earlier.
There you go. Yeah.
You asked me one of the times that we talked is like, I try to be stoic on just about everything I can be, right? Because the moment you start getting emotional about stuff, you make the wrong decisions, typically, right? Whether it be business or relationships or whatever, right? So after a while,
Or is there?
you just have to figure out, how can I remove the emotion out of the decision I'm getting ready to make, right? And just look at the facts. And what are the facts? Either it works or it doesn't work. It's as simple as that. To your point, is black or white, yes or no.
Yeah.
Right? But it takes time to not get that emotion in the mix, right? It took me a long time not to get emotional about certain things, right? Like when I started as an agent, I was like, oh my God, I really want to make this work for this one particular client or whatever. Then I jumped on the investor side. It's like, well, I really want to help out that seller, then in the jam and so, but the numbers aren't working. It's like, yeah, but I can't save everybody, nor is my job to save everybody, right? So learning that just to remove the emotion, just be stoic about it, that's what's going to help you fire quickly, right? Say no to bad deals quickly, and be able to look at the opportunities that you need to be looking at by making sure that now the time you would have wasted on those bad deals or having to go over a bad employee not doing their job, now you can spend that time looking at the things that are profitable. Make sense?
I think the biggest takeaway for you too is like you have a sales process, right? Well, that's how you audit your employees. You say, well, if you don't get as many, like from the get go, right? Day one, I'm offering you the job, right? I'm letting you know right now if we don't hit 3 new acquisitions for jobs, right, every week or whatever the KPI is, I gotta let you go. So all you gotta do is perform. We're gonna be straight. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna audit you along the process. But you can see how like later you're like, yeah, that makes it easy to fire, right? But if you don't do that, well, then you just have to take responsibility to fire them. I didn't train you properly. It's my fault.
Yeah.
I gotta let you go. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You don't have shit in place. It's
Yeah. So like, how do you take that onboarding and that sales process and then apply it to like the administration side or the whatever department that they're in, right?
Damn, yeah.
How do you have that same auditing process for the other department? It's just the same thing. It's just a different department. That's the way I look at it anyways.
Yeah. I mean, any way you can make your job as the leader to be able to make those tough decisions faster, speed.
Yeah.
Speed on everything, man. Speed to lead. You know that, right? Like the moment you get that lead, get them on the phone. Use this exact same concept on the hiring and firing process, right? If you find somebody that you get a resume and that person looks solid, boom, call them. That's a lead, right? That's gonna come work for you, right? At the same time, you're looking at it, oh, it's not working out. Speed. Okay, why isn't this working out? Well, you've gotten the training. You're not hitting the numbers. I gotta let you go. Sounds harsh, but you have to do it.
damn, no, this is shit's exciting, dude. Cause like the first BA that we interviewed, I got like emotionally like attached, and I was involved. I want to hire her, and then it was hard to fucking let her know, hey, like we're going a different direction with this. Cause at first I was gonna do like an appointment setter, when I realized that my time was it was more time consuming for me to do the estimates and measure the plans and get the budgets and all the numbers together.
Yeah.
So I just switched it and I did that instead, but it was tough, bro.
So you already hired and fired one of them? You already...
He hired and fired before he hired, if that makes sense. Yeah. She was going to start, and before she started, she got fired.
Yeah, that's funny. I think that like with the onboardable stuff, like it just allows you to get better speed though, like you're already there, you already have your VA. So now you can literally look at that and be like, okay, what is my onboarding? How do I audit this person? Okay, that's in place. Boom. What's the next one? So it's really as simple as that. It's not like this big grandiose fucking thing that is like, it's not rocket science.
So quick question for you. Where have you found your VAs? Where have you found better VAs? I would ask. Is it Upwork, or what sources have you gotten them from?
The recent one I got a Facebook group.
Really?
Yeah, I had my assistant reach out to any VA because she is a virtual assistant, so she was already in these groups. But then I started her specifically targeting South America. Number one, because I'm down there.
Yeah.
And I do like that cultural component of if they are a good fit eventually, like if I can meet them.
Sure.
I just like to be able to do that. It's harder to do that in the Philippines, although I've done that. I've met my girl in the Philippines, before, or my executive assistant in the Philippines. But Facebook groups and then LinkedIn has been good for virtual assistants, but U.S. based.
Okay.
Like killer.
Really?
Like I said, like 6 interviews, bop, right off the bat. Wow. So if you wanted high powered, more expensive one, you can find it on there. And a lot of people that like don't know they're applying for a virtual job that are willing to take it once they understand what they're getting into, right? So it's not like, okay, I need to go to a virtual assistant warehouse and find one. That's not the way that we think about it. I'm just looking for the right person. If what it looks like, are you open to it? These are the benefits. You get to stay at home, with high responsibility, high repercussions. And so these are what the standards are. And if you don't execute, I got to let you go, So, but the short answer is Facebook. We scanned we used to use a agency, like when I first started, I used Upwork, and then we got into an agency and we literally hired like 8 of them right out of the agency. I had a contract with the agency. That's where my executive assistant came from, through the agency. And then we've got some good ones that are still around, like on the transaction coordinating side, you know, that have been with us for 3 or 4 years, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So, hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, because I'm in the process of just trying anything and everything to find somebody that's decent on the farm.
I mean, maybe just volume, bro. Just like a bunch of fucking interviews, like just interview fucking 100 a day or something.
Well, I'll tell you, like, this is the way I ran it, because we have a very stringent hiring process too. It's a 4-part process. There's an onboarding process to it. It's a very specific process. And the very first interview is based on values. That's it. And I've delegated that to my assistant.
Sure.
So she has that first interview. I'm like, all I need you to figure out is this person a good value fit. That's all I want to know right now. I don't really care about the skill set. It's relevant. But like, you know, I don't care. I can teach them to do this.
Right.
I have an onboarding process for that. I need to know that if they're a good value fit, you know, is this somebody that wants to do what I do? I'm not really looking for that person. Like, if they want to do what I do, that's great. But I don't want somebody that wants to own a company like mine right now and they haven't put in any sweat.
Right.
You know, the typical agent, typically, like, not saying bad about agents, but you know how it is. A lot of guys are like that too. You know, like, we're hungry, we're driven, full of testosterone. It's like, we want to take over the world. We want to Kobe Bryant. I want to do it all myself. It's like, dude, you don't even know yet, right? You hadn't even got any blood on it, right? And sometimes they need to go figure that out and then circle back around. I had to do that from the start. But I'm looking for a value fit. So I have my VA run the first interview. So she's going to do 20 interviews. I'm not going to do 20.
Sure.
I just want to look for value. I want you to boil it down to, are these people a good value fit? You know our culture. I want you to tell me if they're a good culture fit. Are they a good culture fit? Are they interested in the job scope? Great. Put them on my calendar. And then I'm going to dive in. And then after that, I'm going to do a live, like a live trail. Like, I'm going to throw them on the phone.
Okay.
For acquisitions. Like, for me, I want to hear you on the phone. I'm looking for 2 things, right?
Yeah, I like that.
That's my third process on acquisitions, right?
Yeah, right out the gate.
Oh, yeah. Like, and I'm not going to sometimes I'll tell them, most of the time I don't. Like, okay, today we're going to put you on the phone. Here's the number. Here's the scripts. Go. Literally just like that. Because I want to see 2 things, right? I'm not looking for skill. I'm not looking for you to close an appointment. That's completely unreasonable, right? I'm giving you a fresh script.
Yeah.
I just want to see if you can have a 2-minute conversation, and I want to see that you'll hit the fucking button.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That's how I out at the salespeople real quick, okay? Because if you get on there and you're not hitting it, oh, Shannon, like, can you tell me what this means? No, that's not a good fit.
Right.
Next.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm just looking for I'm trying to meet you where you're at and then see if I can train you up.
Sure.
But you got to be able to take the activity. How many people want to book a shitload of money in real estate that just won't do the activity?
Right.
Man, you can name 95% of them, 80% of them, right?
Yeah.
Afraid of the phone, fear, all things that we have to go through. But
yeah, that's
how I do it.
I like that, actually. It's kind of your point, right? It's like getting a lot of people, interview a lot of people. It's like, I don't want to interview a lot of people. I just want to interview the ones that make sense, right? So having one of my VAs probably get the first portion of it started, qualify, and then just kind of give me 3 or 4 people that I can just get on the phone with and then take it from there. So
it also does something for you too. And this is kind of what we're talking about. You removing yourself as the owner, right? Well, who is the owner? And like, there's some mystery to it, but there's like respect that comes with that mystery. Mystery is a funny thing, right? When you have mystery, people are curious and they create these stories in their head about you and they kind of put you on a pedestal. So you're interviewing with my assistant, right? I'm like, okay, the next meeting's with the boss.
Yeah.
Oh, who's the boss? There's kind of this mystery in it.
Yeah.
And then they will meet with me and I'm just going to kind of nail you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then so it kind of puts me on a pedestal, and it's a psychological trip. I'm not saying I'm on a pedestal. That's not the point. But the point is you coming in to it is like, okay, he has an organization. I had to filter, and now I get to meet with him, right? There's a psychological component that makes you more important.
Right.
Point.
Yeah.
It's more
face time with the top dog.
Okay, now I'm on with Mike, and now I got to show up. And you can see it, right? I will look at the recordings from them with my assistant, and then every time we get off and she's like, yeah, he was completely different with you, right? Well, it's like, yeah, it's because I'm knowledgeable at what I do,
right?
And I am demanding that, like, you show up and give me your best, with my line of questioning, right? So I don't know if that helps or not, but putting space between you rather than you just point man and everything. It's like, okay, this dude owns the company, but I'm talking to him right now in a coffee shop about a job interview. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But if they go through your assistant first and it's like, no, he's got a really busy schedule.
Yeah.
You're going to meet with
It's
me,
big, it's fucking...
and then you're going to meet with him next week so you can think about it over the weekend, right? I just want to make sure that this is a good fit for you. It's not really as much about us. I want you to make sure that you're really into this because I'm going to put you on his calendar.
Right.
And he only has 2 slots. So
Yeah.
It's always his done.
But literally and figurative there, right? Quite literally.
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't.
down. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't waste his time and don't waste your time if you don't feel like you're getting
Exactly.
a good fit.
Yeah, both ways, right?
Yeah, dude. That's a dope ass fucking onboarding process, bro. Damn.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And by the way, I don't want to take credit for it. I just copied it for somebody else. So I got a coach got it from my coach. So
No, that's excellent. Man, I think we're about out of time. I do want to see if maybe we can schedule.
No, we put that 10 minutes.
We do?
We started kind of late, bro.
Oh, okay,
I
excellent.
showed up 5 minutes late, and then we still had to use the restroom and shit.
Oh,
so we're at 9:10. Is that when we're up?
yeah.
Okay, cool. What's another?
All right. So let me ask you this. In the way you've got your organization organized, do you have your team all have a team meeting collectively, or there's just like a weekly team meeting, daily team meeting, or is more departmentalized as far as the acquisition is not really having to talk to to the underwriting team. How do you do that? Do you have them have team meetings in that fashion or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I meet with acquisitions daily. I meet with dispositions daily. It's scheduled. I have a team meeting weekly.
Okay.
I have one team meeting weekly, and that's just because for the most part, all departments are cross communicating throughout the week. So as far as like culture-driven culture, it's embedded in the way that we communicate.
Okay.
But I also like to drive some congruency. So, and my objective of that meeting is to really just overview how the company is doing. And so I'm going to make some announcements. I'm going to announce changes, right? And then I'm going to brief them on what marketing looks like for the next 2 weeks. That way everybody's psychologically prepared for maybe leads to come in on the weekend or the holiday or whatever the case may be. I just want to check in and joke around a little bit, get everybody to laugh a little bit. Yeah. And then I want them to understand what is going on from the company from a profitability and a KPI perspective. Okay. I want dispositions to understand how acquisitions is performing from a KPI standard, because dispositions is driven by acquisitions. Yeah. So I try to bridge the gap with that meeting, drive congruency and drive culture. But I'm meeting with every department daily. Well, I don't meet with my administrative assistant. We're talking all the time. We have meetings all day long, depending on CPA stuff, title, whatever the case may be, right? You know how that is. But I don't meet with all of the VAs every day. I only meet with acquisitions daily. That's the most important one. And then dispositions, my dispositions is project management as well. So in that other meeting, we're going to be discussing scopes, payouts, just project management dispositions.
Okay.
And then we have one-on-ones on one day of the week. I have one-on-ones with each person because I want them to have some one-on-one time with me to either talk about personal stuff, struggles, whatever the case may be.
Sure.
And then we run the rest of that meeting the same as the group setting, which is like we're going to listen to some calls, we're going to look at KPIs, and we're going to talk about where we're going for the next week.
Sure. Damn it. So the reason why I asked that question is I think for any business, because you've mentioned this several times, culture, right?
Yes.
The culture of the business is like the glue that keeps everybody together, right? So, like for instance, parachuting penguins, the way that the culture has been since the beginning of the company has been to where everyone is more or less feels like their family, right? Not and the reason why I say family is because people can feel like whether it's from the top to the bottom, anybody can ask each other for help if they need to, right? I gotta be able to feel comfortable to ask anybody in there for anything, and vice versa, right? But just like any other family, the way that I explain it to people is, there's gonna be days where you're gonna want to pull my hair out, and there's gonna be days where I want to pull your hair out. Now, does that mean that I hate you or I don't like you? No, all that means is just like any other family, right? There's gonna be good days and there's gonna be bad days, right? But at the end of the day, there's a job that needs to be done, right? So we got to figure out, how do we roll up our sleeves collectively to make sure that we achieve it, right? So culture, I know you mentioned it several times. Culture is something that I think lacks in a lot of businesses, just because it's almost like a high school mentality in a lot of businesses too. We're like, well, F that guy. That guy never does anything. I don't even want to hear from them.
We just don't allow that.
Exactly. Right?
It's just
like a cancer.
It's just unacceptable.
That's a cancer.
It's toxic.
Yeah. It's like the moment you see someone that has that type of an attitude, that like, well, that's not in my job description. Why am I doing that? It's like, if the top guy is able to take out the trash or whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter what your job description is. If somebody truly needs your help, you help them. Now, it's different if somebody comes to you and you're completely slammed. It's like, hey, can you help me with this? Like, I really got to meet this deadline. I can't right now, but as soon as I finish, that's a completely different way to handle it, right? But if somebody just flat says like, no, I can't help you just because I don't feel like it, right? That's a cancer that if it filters through your entire organization, it's hard to get it back.
Yeah, and we have those conversations literally daily.
Yeah.
By the way, because I will open that up to my other people, and it's like, hey, okay, something's annoying you about this other person, about the way that they communicate. Let's figure out a script to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Because that's welcome. Everybody hold everybody accountable, including myself. Is there something better I can do for you? How's everything going? What are you struggling with? Yeah, we just try to figure out how to have those conversations, and I think that drives good. It reinforces culture.
And that's a good point. There's people, because of personalities, they just don't know how to ask things the right way sometimes, right?
They just don't know how. That's it.
They don't know how. And
they're emotionally charged too.
Right. And yeah.
Right.
So like you can ask the same thing two different ways. One way, that person's gonna feel like, F that person. I'm not gonna help them.
Yeah.
You can ask for the same thing differently, and that person's gonna receive like, man, I feel like I need to help you now, right? But you gotta sometimes you also have to play the role as a business owner of understanding those personalities, and to your point, teach them how to talk to each other, right? Like, okay, well, if you know this person this like this, why don't you approach her like this, and see how that goes? See if that works better for you. And 9 times out of 10, they're like, oh man, you're right. Yeah, like that. She was more than happy to help me at that point.
Yeah,
it's like it's everything sells, right? Like, how do you sell asking for help so somebody's willing to help you? Right? Like, just think of it in that fashion. Like, everybody in your organization needs to learn how to sell to a certain point to help themselves, right? And it's all about, okay, well, this person's personality is this way, I need to tackle it in this fashion, and so on and so forth. But you, as the business owner, you got to look at all the gears on the machine and see which one needs a little bit more oil than the others. To maybe spend a little bit more time on that particular person, so that person can now be rocking and rolling to make the rest of the machine just continue to perform better.
Damn, did a fucking you talking about culture was interesting, bro. You used that word, like communicating is a huge part of the culture. I think it's pretty fucking the way you explain your whole organization, like it's inspiring, bro. Like just the whole culture thing is cool. Like how did you Like, did mentors kind of help you structure the whole culture thing, or how
Yeah.
that come about, bro?
My coach, like I've always got a coach. So one of the first things that I learned from my coach was like culture fit, and I, like giving my father credit. Like my dad was a leadership coach, right? So my dad always talked about principles and values. That's something that I was listening to growing up, and so I had this concept of that your values are what guide you, right? Like for instance with you, like what is the most important thing that you look for in a friend?
Just honesty.
Honesty, okay. And why is honesty important to you?
I don't know.
What's another one? Like what else do you look for in a friend?
I don't know.
Somebody that's really close to you.
Like driven.
Driven. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so just like not to go too deep, but like those two things, right? When I ask you that question, okay, honesty and driven. You're growth minded, right? That's one of our values. You have to be growth minded. Okay. You want somebody that's honest, right? You want somebody that you can trust. That's a pretty like sterile like value, but like there's a lot underneath that, right? That we could dig into.
Yeah.
But just at the most like that first interview, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking at like if I ask you like, okay, what is somebody that you look up to? And you're like, I really look up to Grant Cardone because he's bought 100 units. That's not a value fit for me. That just tells me that you want to win a Lamborghini.
Right. Yeah.
I like Grant Cardone too, by the way. Like I listened to him like through college and everything, and I look up to him from the standpoint of that he's very experienced and I can learn real estate stuff from him. Well, I don't know Grant Cardone, right? But like I can talk to you, like you listen. One thing I like about you is you listen. I like to be around people like that and growth-minded people. Y'all are growth-minded, right? That's what I'm looking for. So, that's why it's important. Anyways, to get back to your question, my dad taught me some of that, and then my coach reinforced it, and so I just lead with that.
Yeah. And then like your meetings, I'm sure you probably have a fuck ton of meetings, bro. Right? Like throughout the week and the day.
For sure.
How did you structure that? Like, just as you went, it's just like you slowly just started scheduling a bunch of meetings, and
I mean, part of a lot of it is the coaching, you know what I mean? Like learning how to structure that, but at the same time, just it's kind of what he was talking about, like all the gears to it. Like if you listen to the way that it's structured, it ties it all in that way. So like, okay, I have my one-on-one, right? I'm gonna focus on this one gear and figure out if it needs to new bearing or if it needs some oil or if the prongs or if we need to replace the whole thing, right? That's the one-on-one. And then you can talk to me about the other gears. And then, okay, now I've got my acquisitions meeting and we put both the gears together. Let's talk about how y'all can work together better. Do both of y'all need oil? Do both of y'all just need to look at each other and say, hey, we're exactly the same. We're good. And I had an argument with my wife and everything's fine. Like, and then I pull it into the team meeting and I'm looking at the whole machine, right? And so it's structured in a way where I can just diagnose everything literally that he just talked about. The schedule allows that to happen rather than me having to think about it all the time.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
So each meeting has its itinerary, period. I'm big on itinerary for meetings. I don't like pointless meetings. Yeah. Like, what is the itinerary for this meeting? When I sat down, how do you guys run this? Yeah. Do we have a line of questioning? Yeah. Are we just going to chop it up? Are you going to ask the questions? Is this an interview? I just want to know what the framework is, right? That way we can get some good content and like use it for whatever we're going to do, right? We just say, I don't really know. We just like to meet and talk. I got to go. When's my next meeting? Oh, I got double booked. No, I was just joking. So kind of not.